The Ice King, the best freezy boy, and the coldest constructor in the business. In the business. That's it. I'm officially a boomer. I find that hilarious. But anyways, let's talk about the Ice King. Now, the Ice King is one of my favorite constructors. I love him so much. So, if you guys don't know how to get him, here's a simple explanation on how to get the Ice King this year, this date, right now. If in this week, hopefully you can grab him yourself. Let's see. Alright, to unlock Ice King, this is what you're going to do. You're going to be going to the Fortnite tab, and then you're going to look for the challenge, and you're going to see a new challenge called Fortnite New Wave Holiday. Now, it's very easy to complete this challenge. It's basically each wave has a different type of husk that you need to kill, and here are all 20 waves if you are curious. And that's about it. Once you get to wave 8, that's when you unlock Ice King. Complete wave 8, and then if you want, you could throw the match or clear the game and see how far you can go. It's a very easy, fun mode because if you do a right build, you could essentially stall the earlier waves and practice your builds. So I really recommend playing this mode if you want to practice out your Fortnite skills, maybe test out some tunnels, and see what you can do as a builder. Or if you don't want to do that, there's a possibility, if you guys want, I can show you a damage build that will work in all upcoming challenges. And yeah, so now let's get into a build of the Ice King that I really like. Oh, and before we show a hero loadout, let's talk about Ice King's commander perk. Ice King's commander perk is this: enemies standing on structures affected by base are snared by 15%. Additionally, enemies that damage a structure affected by base are frozen for 4 seconds. Each enemy can be frozen once every 15 seconds. Now, this is something that's uber powerful because out of all the abilities in the game, Ice King's commander perk actually freezes smashers when they attack your structures, when they're charging and when they're not. So the ability is so powerful that he's actually worth putting in the commander slot, which is a common rarity for most constructors because none of them really fit into that slot besides a select few. Another thing that's great about the Ice King is, unlike other commanders, in the Ice King, when he's in the commander slot, when a smasher charges a structure and freezes it, they'll stop their charge immediately after when they're unfrozen. If you're using like a Zenith or an Ice King, they'll continue to charge after being frozen because the benefit with the Ice King is they hit a structure and then they're stopped in their tracks. If a Zenith, you have to freeze the smasher multiple times in order to stop them. Ice King definitely gets a plus there. And that's why I recommend using the Ice King in the commander slot. And here's a loadout that I would recommend with the Ice King. Alright, so here's a hero loadout that I really recommend. Frozen Castle, Ice King in the commander slot. Supercharged traps could easily be replaced with recycling if you don't want to place your traps down. Power modulation via power base Nox. Mega base via Mega base Kyle. Fully contained via, I don't remember her name, sorry. Lofty architecture from base Kyle and hotfix from hotfixer Hazard. Now, the good thing about this loadout, it's clearly not the best one. There's clearly better loadouts that we can make. This one focuses entirely on base and walls. However, this is a very strong loadout, and the best part about this loadout is that all of these heroes can be bought in the collection book or earned in llamas, except for the Ice King. So if you were a player that just started playing Fortnite Save the World, you could build this loadout over time and not miss out on anything. Now, if we were gonna do event content, well, we could make a much stronger build. But this build for me works for most of the main missions in the game, like 140 missions, 120 missions, and all that. It's just such a good build to play around with. You put your base down, and then you can go scurry off, do something else, build a tunnel, fire the rocket launcher, shoot some rockets, and just fight the horde. This is a base where you can put down, leave it alone, and then fight everything in your way. And that's why I like Frozen Castle. However, we have to talk about something. Frozen Castle is currently different. I don't know if it's bugged, but regular husk types no longer get frozen when they attack the ramp. That's kind of a bummer, but on the bright side, smashers still get frozen when they attack the ramp, and so do blasters. They probably did this so they can remove the viability of jail builds. It's honestly such a possibility that I don't think that's, I don't like shun it. So it kind of does suck in that aspect. However, Ice King's commander ability, the fact that it can freeze charging Smashes and stopping him, is still good enough to use that I would recommend putting him in the commander slot. Plus, like, that's the only downside about the Ice King's ability. So what? Husks don't get frozen when they slap on your ramps. They still get frozen when they touch your walls, your floors, and your pyramids, I think. Well, probably not pyramids, but your walls and your floors. I haven't tested that. But so yeah, and also that's not the only upside about Ice King's ability. We're all forgetting about his standard perk, which is included in the commander perk. When husks walk on the structures, they are slowed and snared by 15%. Now let's do a couple of tests. Let's see the difference between Ice King and without Ice King, with Ice King and wooden floor spikes, and without wooden floor spikes. Then Ice King without anything, well, not nothing, versus Ice King with wooden floor spikes and the base. Let's basically just run a couple of tests and see how powerful we can make Ice King. Let's see if we can actually completely stop the husks. Now here's the test with and without Ice King's floors. On the left, without; on the right, with. And as you can see, there is a clear difference between the two. A difference of about like 2 seconds, which is still really good. Now here's a test with and without Ice King's base with floor spikes. And as you can see, there is again a clear difference between the two. Pretty good. Now let's move on to the last and final test. And here's the final test with and without Ice King's base, with and without floor spikes. And as you can see, there already is a huge difference between these 3 tiles. And with just that alone, you can see that having Ice King in your loadout and, well, trapping really puts a difference in your base. I really live by the analogy in Fortnite STW that the longer the husks take to get to your base, the better, because then they take more damage from your gas traps, all your traps, wall pushes, and all that. With these few tests, you can really see how powerful Ice King is and why he should be in your loadout whenever you're running Constructor. Also, let's not forget about the abilities that Ice King provides for stall and jail builds. For stall builds, he's kind of weak because, well, husks don't freeze on the ramps, but if they were ever to break through the ramps, then Ice King would come in action, because then the stalling activates and he starts freezing them while they hit the walls. And if you're in that kind of a pickle, you could just honestly replace it with floors and all that. But that's the positive of Ice King. Now for jail builds, Ice King's a lot more powerful, because in jail builds there are no ramps. It's just like straight up walls, and then the little freaking husks get flung into the jail builds, and then they're stuck, and they're gonna constantly get frozen, and they're gonna be constantly stuck in the jail build, and it's just wonderful all around. That's how powerful Ice King is. He's one of the best heroes in Commander, and he's an outstanding hero in support. If you just run maybe Mega Base and stuff like that with Ice King in the support, all of those giant tiles around you are going to be surrounded with these 15% slow. Put some wooden floor spikes, you can make them slow down by at least 45%. And that's not even the capabilities with like slow field or slowed and snare guns. There's so much more you can do with Ice King. Now we have to start to end off this video, so let's go put Ice King in the tier list, or solidify his position in the tier list. Alright, so originally Ice King was S tier, and unfortunately I'm not going to be moving him up to Ultra tier, even though it kind of feels like after this video with all of these facts that he should definitely be in that tier. However, I do feel he's right in the S tier. Reasons why is because husks no longer get frozen when they attack the ramps, and there's a large cooldown in between every hit they can get frozen. They get frozen for 4 seconds, and then they have to wait another 11 seconds before they can get frozen again, which is kind of a downside. However, that 15% snared on all of the floor tiles that base covers, that's insane. That is actually incredible. And that's the only reason why I would put him in Ultra tier if plausible. It just doesn't feel right. He is absolutely amazing. He's absolutely godly. He deserves the crown of Ice King. But he isn't an Ultra tier hero. He is a must grab though. If you do not grab the Ice King, you are going to be one sorry sap of a player. Wow, that's an insult. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, Ice King, definitely worth the pickup. If you don't pick him up this week, and you don't have him, then I feel sorry for you. Definitely pick this hero up. And yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy the video, consider liking and maybe consider subscribing. I try to make these nice detailed videos all the time, and I definitely want to keep up that progress and keep growing my channel, so please do consider it. And anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed again. Love ya, and toodles.